Okay, Team Time Trialers, this is your recon for a Team Time Trial. One lap of Watopia's Waistband. It's flat across the desert, up the Col de Saddle Springs, through the tunnels, and over to that technical bit, which should probably have a better name than technical bit, around the volcano, through downtown Watopia, and back to your starting point. Let's start with the DS notes. So the usual thing, I've got a profile down below with some quick notes, something I added here. I really think that this route, it's important to know when you're getting to the end of it. So you pass the pens, 2.2 kilometers to go, and when you pass that sprint marker, you've got 500 meters to go. The only other thing to say, of course, is the best way to consume this information is to download it from the Coffee Club, and there's a link in the top right. Talking of the Coffee Club, what can you do if you want to help Sherpa Dave out? Well, tell your friends about Sherpa Dave, like and subscribe to the video and the channel, download the notes from the Coffee Club, as I said, and if you really want to, buy Sherpa Dave a coffee, it always goes down well. Let's just jump straight to the target times. One lap, it's a pretty fast route. Got Doppio 35.50, Espresso 39.50, 36.20 respectively, 41.59 for Frappe and 37.30 for Frappe. You can read the others. I don't know why I'm going through this. 43.30 and 40 for Latte, 45.20 and 44.50 for Mocha. Let that sink in just for a second more, and then it's time for the lap itself. We start in the desert pens. It's slightly uphill till we get to the sprint, and then the sprint itself is very slightly uphill, but pretty much all that rounds to zero, and you are flat for the first 10 kilometers. This is a great opportunity to get information and just practice everything you've been doing up until now, riding your turns and float into the back and then going around that loop. So this is a flat, fast team time trial. It really is all about team discipline. There's no hills, but there are a couple of little bumps and technical sections, and I'll take you through those 3 tricky bits as I see them. One thing I will say, Sherpa's tip here, a pace line, a proper pace line, takes real skill and teamwork from the team. And getting a pace line wrong is even worse than having a blob, or even better, an extended blob. So unless you practice pace lines a lot, my recommendation would be to actually run an extended blob. All right, all that talking, I jumped ahead to the first little bit where you have to think about things, and that is the oasis at 5 kilometers. We're going to run through the little canyon, and then there's a slight hill up the other side. Won't be a problem for most of you. You'll just take it in your stride and go, but it's still worth knowing it's there. So through the canyon, you're still riding in formation. Still flat, and as we just go up this little straight, the hill kicks in, gets up to about 3%, nothing to worry about. Check in with the team, and down the other side. And now it's flat all the way to Saddle Springs, which we hit at 8.9 kilometers into the ride. Let's jump forward. Alright then, so we're entering Saddle Springs. We're a little before it actually. 8.5. The road undulates gently as you go through the town. Just keep your power steady. Shouldn't worry. I don't think it gets above 1 or even maybe slightly 2%, but it's pretty much flat as we go through. And then what I call the Calder Saddle Springs kicks in as we go past that futuristic building that is not a terminal or something at LAX airport. It's just a restaurant. And I only know that because one of you guys told me. Alright, Calder Saddle Springs, we hit it at 10 kilometers. It's 900 meters at 2.5 to 3%. It is front loaded and then eases towards the back. Just pay attention. Everybody will have got used to a steady pace on flat roads, so this little hill can be worse than it looks, but it's not too bad. Stay disciplined as we go up here. Make sure that the lighter riders who've maybe struggled that little bit more on the ride up until this point, just make sure that they don't take advantage and surge ahead. Just stay together. You know we reach the top of the hill when we hit the second sign, not that one, but that one that we can see there. We'll hang a left and go down the hill the other side. Going down, same as going up, just stay disciplined, make sure nobody's gassed. Hopefully they're not at this stage of the ride, but descend as you go down 1.7 kilometers to the 12.5 kilometer mark. Alright, down into the undersea tunnels, and then it's flat all the way to the technical bit. I'm sure you've all ridden this section before, but it's worth spending just a few seconds talking about it as we get there. It's a 4.3 kilometer technical bit. Keeps the team on their toes. There's this ramp going up around 3%. Once we come out the other side, it's mixed surfaces for 1 kilometer, and then you get a 1% sustained and fairly steady false flat as we go up the hill the other side, then down into the Italian village, and then sweep to the left and go down the gravel section, and that's where the technical bit ends. So you can see we had some gravel, we have the boardwalk back onto gravel, and all that does really is just change the momentum of the team, and it also slows everybody down. So if you are setting speed targets as you go along the pavement, the tarmac, then when you hit these surfaces, that slows down, of course, and boardwalk is different to gravel. But anyway, we're at the end of that section now, and we hit the 1.5 kilometer steady false flat 1%, and we hit that at 15 kilometers. I'm going to jump ahead because that bit's boring. Here we go. As we get to the top of the false flat, it does tighten quite a bit, and it varies from 3 to 5%. And then back down the other side towards the Italian village. Make sure you're all still together, make sure you're all pushing as hard as you can, but also not pushing too hard for the weaker riders. Switches to cobbles and then to gravel, and it's downhill, so speed actually maintains pretty well as you're going down here. Flattens out for the last few hundred meters, and you're back on tarmac as you go under this bridge. There we go, you can just get yourself back up to race speed, and it's 1.7 kilometers flat to the Volcano double bump, which you hit at 19.7 kilometers. And why don't we just jump there? There we go. The first bump is 100 meters at 4%, then you get another 100 meter flat, and then 75-ish, that's a bit of an estimate, at 3%. If you're pushing hard, there is a risk here of breaking up a little, so just watch that. Slight dip down at 20.3 kilometers, and now it's mostly flat through the volcano and over the bridge. There we go, jump to that part. And then we get this gentle rise up, and then the descent into downtown Watopia. Hopefully you guys like the skips in the video, so that I'm not spending too much time on, you know, fairly same-ish features like the long ride through the desert or the false flat up. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and a comment down below to let me know, so I can duplicate that kind of thing. If you don't give me a thumbs down, but do put a comment down below. Alright, we're through downtown, and now it's back to the starting point. There's one more technical area to take a look at as we go through there, as we head into the desert. Now the keen eyes there will have noticed a quick jump in the video. That happened because this is a rebel route, it's event only, and so I had to manually make the turns, and I made a mistake there, so I had to do a little skip in the video. All right, this is the other technical bit that I mentioned. It's 2.4 kilometers. It's got a little bit of dirt, it's got some boardwalk, and it's false flat as you go up. Again, nothing too much to worry about, but at this point you've been pushing really hard for the whole of the race so far, the ride so far I should say, and so riders might be a little bit gassed, a little bit stressed out, so just take it easy. You know you've got to the end of the false flat when you pass the sign and that junction, and now we're on the homeward stretch. You're now at the spawn point, and you can see all these riders just spawned there ready for a ride, and we are approaching the pens where we started. And you'll remember from the DS notes I gave a distance from the pens, so 2.3 kilometers to go from here, and the pens are a great landmark, as is that little bridge. And then I'm jumping forward. There's the sprint, 500 meters from the sprint marker. Hopefully you're staying in formation. Your fast four are heading out. I don't know if your team's like my team. You always try and manage a sprint at the end. Hopefully you guys do too. And through we go. All right, I will leave you with the DS notes and the target times again. And if I don't talk to you before Thursday, ride on.